Good afternoon, average fans. Now, before I start with this video, I wanted to tell you a bit about Series 3. So make sure you hit subscribe because Series 3 is a mockumentary, a live action show about a conspiracy theorist and his ways and experiments. I've been writing it for a while. I'm going to be filming it at the end of October, hopefully release it in November. So just in time for Christmas, maybe it'll make DVD box set, who knows, but probably not enough to get a box set that early on. Hey, oh well. Now in this video, I want to talk about a variety of things really. First and foremost, I want to answer some of the queries I've had about why I've got a problem with flat earthers, why I don't like them, what I've got against them. And the truth is, I've got nothing against them. I have no dislike or anger or hatred towards them whatsoever. And my motives are simple. One, there's people exploiting people for financial gain. There's people making a living off of this, and that's not right. When I first started looking into this, I became part of a few groups, and I questioned whether they were actually dangerous or not, because I don't think they're like Scientology in that respect. But then somebody rightly pointed out to me that Scientology started off like this, and so do a lot of cults, and it's preying on vulnerable people and exploiting them for financial gain. There's plenty of other ways to. There's a lot of health gurus doing this, and you go on these retreats and these awakening retreats and enlightening, and it's the classic snake oil salesman cliche, if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think we're going to see hundreds of people all simultaneously drinking deadly Kool-Aid. However, there's a lot of people being exploited for financial gain in this, and that needs to be looked into. And if you're a flat earther and you think to yourself, well, I don't give these people any money, I don't buy their merchandise, I just, watch their videos, that is still supporting them financially, because the more views they get, the more watch time, the more subscribers, it all adds up to YouTube monetization. The second problem I've got is they undermine science. Now, I'm the first person to be skeptical about what I see and read and hear. However, as a society, to an extent, we all need to be able to rely on peer-reviewed research to come to conclusions about the fundamentals of the world we live in. Water is water, for example. Disputing the shape of the earth is like disputing what water is. And this movement is just the erosion of work of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that have come before us for the advancement of mankind. And if we're not careful, if this isn't squashed like it should be, like a lot of people think this isn't their problem and this will just, this is just a phase they're going through. But as they gain momentum, what if 5% of the people that currently invest in big universities like Caltech and MIT for their research projects, what if 5 or 10% of them suddenly just start being flat earthers? Are they going to be as inclined to invest their hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars to further the advancement of science? The third problem I have with them is it's not fair on the youth that they're promoting this to. It's actually dangerous to them. If you've got a child who's maybe a little bit susceptible, a little bit gullible, as children are, typically, and you plant this seed in their heads, and if they're not monitored properly, and, maybe if they don't have the best support at home, their mind might wander, and if you cause them to have some sort of delusions like this, they could be even further isolated from society by their peer groups, their friends, their schoolmates. Even the teachers are not trained to deal with a child that's confused about the shape of the planet, for fuck's sake. And from that point, you're really just setting them up for failure. And that's child abuse. And my final reason is as simple as this. They make it so fucking easy. When I do engage with flat earthers, which is very rare, to be honest with you, I never get nasty, because there's no point in ridiculing these people. If you start ridiculing an adult, you're patronising them. And no one is going to have their mind changed through patronisation. And some of the shit I've seen coming out of these people's mouths, or out of their mouth through their keyboard and onto a screen. I mean, I talk shit, but that's what I do. That's what I'm relatively good at, apparently. I've been doing it all my life. I've had practice. But this movement is just concentrated turd, gathering speed, gaining momentum. It's like the snowball effect, but it's going through a really unkept farm. So instead of gathering more snow or mud, it's just gathering further shit. And soon we're all gonna be covered in shit soon, is what I'm trying to say. If you stayed this long, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm gonna finish on a point. I am not an astrophysicist. I am not a scientist. I know the Earth isn't flat because I am able to look at the amount of research that has been done over centuries to establish what we know today. Granted, things are always updated, things are improved on, new things are learned, new theories are devised, and we use the scientific method just to make sure we were right about what we previously thought, for example. And okay, I am going off of like literature and the word of mouth of the results of this research. But I mean, just look at how many people it would take to uphold this lie. Like, if it was all a mirage, if it was all a Hollywood film set, if it was all the fucking Truman Show or Game of Thrones, a lot more people would have worked it out by now. There's not hundreds of thousands of people that have taken this to their grave. That's just not going to happen. Think about how many people. That's the first thing you'd say on your deathbed. That's the thing you'd make sure you got in on your deathbed, wasn't it? If that was something you held in dearly, like all your life, and you're just like, well, I can't get punished for it now, otherwise it was death before. But, you know, before telling your family you love them, maybe you'd be like, just in case you ran out of time, you'd be like, the Earth is flat. Ugh, and croak. Think about it.